You're awake at last.
You know me? Why am I here?
I came upon you in a brooklet some days past. You lay passed out due to the feathering. I moved you to the cave to recuperate.
The feathering?
I see. Know you not. A man-eating fiend attacked Worship's Rise 6 moons ago, spreading unthinkable horrors, after which many bore feathers on their bodies. A malady unlike any other, without hope of a cure. I found this silk manuscript on your person. Here, take it. Should you have other concerns, pray, speak then. My Taoist name is Xuanyangzi. I came here to help, to treat the feathering outbreak in Worship's Rise. Alas, I have made little progress. Should you have other concerns, pray, speak then. This is the Reverent Temple. Those afflicted have sought refuge here. This temple was used by Buddhists. It was after the abbot fled that I took on the role of guardian for the sanctuary. Thanks to the officials, we have barely managed to keep this place secure. Should you have other concerns, pray, speak then. You are experiencing early signs of the feathering. The afflicted slowly lose their memories. If left unchecked and untreated, the disease will rob them of their humanity entirely. It begins in the limbs, sprouting feathers. Then comes the dislocation of the joints, leading finally to a monstrous transformation. Most victims endure unbearable agony. Judging by how you look, you should count yourself lucky. Your memory loss, while troubling, is a far gentler fate. You may not be able to recall, but the silk manuscript you were carrying mentions that you have a companion. From what I gathered when I rescued you, it seems you were separated during an attack. That Lu Honglu is merciless. I dread the worst for your companion. Now that you have contracted this disease and have those blue feathers on your arm, others may mistake you for a monster and strike you down on sight. For now, it is safer to remain in the temple and rest, at least with the soldiers present. Now that you have, for now, it is... You seek the path to the Tang Emperor's palace. I fear that the route is no longer open. The rebels departed months ago, yet the soldiers still stand. I fear that the route is no longer open. The rebels departed months ago, yet the soldiers still stand guard there. It is rather peculiar. Rumor has it, it holds secrets. I had hoped to search for cures among the Emperor's scriptures there, but now it seems the only way in is through Doomwillow Beach. Now that I think about it, though the road to Doomwillow Beach is blocked by flames, I have heard whispers from the townsfolk of a hidden passage beneath the Shu Sanctum. As for where the entrance lies, no one seems to know. As for where the entrance... Have you been to the Shu Sanctum? The High Priest. Fate can be most cruel indeed. He who should heal others has been stricken by the very affliction he sought to cure. Legend says the Shu Sanctum was rebuilt by the descendants of Shu at the dawn of this dynasty to honor their ancestor Duriel. Many Shu descendants have settled nearby. Though their customs differ from the surrounding folk, they coexist in harmony. Once, there were 2 priests at the Shu Sanctum, a teacher and an alchemist. For years, their work greatly benefited the locals. The Shu medicine, passed down through the ages, is indeed extraordinary. At first, I sought their counsel on various ailments. Initially, it showed promise against the feathering, but alas, the effects did not endure. Yet tragedy befell them. One vanished, the other transformed and was never seen again. Even the greatest healers can fall victim to fate's cruel designs. Alas, it is the common folk who suffer most. The blood that the warrior Nian brought is truly remarkable. It has succeeded in alleviating the pain of the feathering. Alas, he forced it all into this young man's mouth before I could examine it properly. If only I could have studied it for a few more days. Well... So there truly is a secret passage to Doomwillow Beach beneath the Shu Sanctum? Official law went to Doomwillow to eradicate the monsters. To trap them, they set the mountain ablaze. The townsfolk say that Doomwillow Beach was once a place for disposing of corpses, steeped in malevolence. The fire should have cleansed it to some extent. Yet the fire defied nature, burning for months on end, blocking all passage. No living soul has reached Doomwillow Beach since. Now that you've discovered the secret passage, I should also make my way there. The scriptures in the palace may hold the key to saving worship's rise. These are perilous times. Tread carefully in these parts. There lurks a demonic treant at Doomwillow Beach. It seems even plants and trees are not spared from the feathering. The road to a cure is long and fraught with trials. The Tang Emperor's palace. It was once a sanctuary of immortality and enlightenment. Now it lies in ruin. But according to the townsfolk, this is where the first cases of the feathering emerged. Most curious. The rebels left long ago, yet the soldiers still guard this place. Surely there's more than meets the eye. Perhaps it is connected to the feathering. They protected my practice. A direct confrontation would be ill-advised. Would you be kind enough to investigate on my behalf? The people and I would be most grateful. Would you be kind enough? Ah, you are finally awake. Her Yuzai brought you back here. You've been unconscious for days, and he has kept a vigil by your side. Your expedition to the palace. Fruitless, it would seem. I am truly sorry for putting you in harm's way. Guilt racks me. Here, a token of my apology. Now, I won't pry into your dealings in Shu, but please, I urge you not to allow your condition to worsen. Years ago, I was tasked with crafting elixirs to strengthen the master of Snowfall Palace. That region is rich in red mercury ore, which they sought to use for the sake of longevity. Whether it can cure the feathering, well, that remains to be seen. I must tend to the patients here now. Should you uncover anything, please do share it with me. I went to Snowfall Palace once, at Madame Huang's request. What little I knew from Zhenwu Temple helped me concoct some tonics. But Madame Huang demanded even more red mercury be added to the mix. Fearing for the death it may cause, I had no choice but to flee. After leaving, I heard Madame Huang began gathering talents from far and wide. Many came for just a few taels of silver. What could such a motley crew hope to accomplish? Have you any news? Red mercury for resurrection? With the Tang Emperor's relic? Most curious. Now, let me think. Perhaps red mercury isn't wholly harmful. If it were put to proper use, it might even strengthen one's body. Or perhaps therein lies the key to curing the feathering. If these notes do contain the cure, your contribution will never be forgotten. You'll be a hero. Resurrection at the hands of a mere tailor. Unbelievable. That Huangqian wretch deserved his fate. It was he who plotted most of Snowfall's horrors. Those poor souls he ensnared. May your wayward souls find peace. May all the spirits born of the Four Realms receive grace. Though I've learned many of the uses of red mercury, the cure for feathering remains elusive. I once heard my brothers at Zhenwu Temple speak of a secret library filled with the wisdom of generations of our celestial masters. But the rebels have now desecrated Zhenwu Temple, and here I am left powerless to avenge our fallen. Should you venture there, retrieve for me some scriptures. They may aid us in curing this affliction. Have you any news? Forgive my outburst. The temple scriptures span generations of knowledge. Now, thanks to you, this legacy lives on. It would be a shame for us to lose it. Here, take this medicine I've just concocted. There isn't much, but now I must devote myself to these scriptures. Celestial Masters, forgive me for allowing outsiders into our halls. If I brew a cure for the feathering, perhaps I could atone. The rebels, they pillaged our sacred temple and they slaughtered many of our brethren. Had I been there, I too may have been unable to escape. But now justice has been served. They met their end, and deservedly so. When I resided at the temple, I heard tales that official Bai longed for a son to continue his lineage. When one was finally born, fate cruelly tore him away. At some point, a priceless relic vanished from the temple. There were whispers that official Bai had a hand in its disappearance. No wonder the temple dispatched so many disciples each year since then, ostensibly to exorcise demons. It was all in search of that lost artifact. Well, if that really is the case, I wonder what it is then that makes this lost relic so extraordinary. I've spent years studying the feathering and only recently learned of a divine object, a stone chisel, that could suppress it. The monsters haunting Worship's Rise sought this very item. Commander Hong managed to seize a fragment of this sacred object from those fiends. After days of research, we finally made some headway on the feathering. I thought we were on the verge of a breakthrough. But the divine object was devoured by that creature. If only the divine object was still here. In time, it could save all living souls. How did it come to this? To think there was such a place beneath the burning cave. Years of searching, only to find it beneath my very feet. This is the essence of immortality. The legends were true. This is the Hall of Ascension. Great Feathered One, at last, I shall ascend!